Good morning, everybody. This is John Big Dog Wagner coming at you. This is going to be a different kind of video. I'm going to piss some people off with this video. I'll tell you that now. You guys have heard me say many times, if you want to make money in this business, you want to be successful in this business, you got to break down your loads. You got to break down your load to know what your costs are, what it's going to be, what it's going to take to deliver the load, so that you know if you're going to make any money or not. There are too many people that are still not doing that. There are too many people that are still not doing that. And now fuel prices done gone up. Now, how does that affect the industry? Well, for us, directly, if we're used to breaking down a load and we're doing $500 to 3/4 tank, and we're doing that, we're able to get jobs where we can make money. That $500 is now an $800 bill. If you're in California, that's over a $1,000 bill. The money that's left over for you to take home, it ain't the same. It ain't the same. And as you guys have seen, you got a lot of videos out there. Super Eagles a scam, can't make no money. It's not my fault. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. When the reality is, their dispatchers call them with a job, and they're a boss. Yeah, I'll take the job. I'll make the decision. I'll take the job. And that job wasn't paying shit. And I see it on a regular basis. An example I like to use is one time that I was up there in the Idaho area, and my dispatcher offered me a job going to Arizona. I was trying to get home. It was headed the right direction. Whatever. But the job was 800 miles for $700. I told him, you out your mind. I ain't taking that load. Not even thinking about it. I had to break out my calculator. Nope. You out your mind. 800 miles, $700. You're already less than $1 a mile. Nope. And he goes, well, I know you won't take it for this price, but I was going to bid on it and see what I can get it for. I said, for a load like that, I need at least $1,600. I should be paying like $1,800. I got to drive mountains and shit like that, but at least $1,600. So he gets in there, he's arguing with the dispatcher, blah, 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 blah. Dispatcher's up to $1,400. He's like, we almost there. We have $1,400. We almost there. Next thing you know, he cussing. I'm like, what the hell you cussing for? You said we almost there. Some idiot took it for the $700 that he originally posted it for. Now, how does that work? $700, the company gets $175. That leaves him $525. $500 in the tank to run 3/4. He broke. He got $25. That same run today, he negative. He's negative. He about to make a video. Super Eagles a scam. My dispatcher's out to get me. I can't make no money. I drove all week. I ain't make no money. I drove all month. I ain't make no money. He about to make a video. We need these brokers to pay more money. Brokers don't want to pay money because they're like, you got somebody stupid enough to take it for this price. I gotta make the car note for my wife. She drive a Mercedes. If I don't make the car note, she's gonna be mad at me. Fuck that. So it's hard. It's hard. These guys that are not willing to break down the loads, that are not willing to figure things out and make good decisions. You know, I'm talking to my dispatcher, I'm talking to my dispatch manager, and they're like, well, the market hasn't gone up yet, the brokers aren't willing to pay more price, blah, 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 blah. Well, the reason why they're not willing to pay more price is because you got too many idiots out there that are taking it for less. It's that simple. You got too many idiots out there that are taking it for less. Why should I pay you $3 a mile when I know that there's somebody out there that's going to do it for 75 cents a mile? It's that simple. And I've gotten to the point where when I talk to guys and they're like, oh no, I don't do all that. I don't. And yet you complaining about you don't make no money. Go turn your truck in. They're like, what? I thought you liked to help people. I do like to help people. But here's the thing. If you are not willing to take responsibility of your business, if you are not willing to do what it takes to verify a load, if you are not willing to accept the fact that you've been messing up and be willing to sit there and learn what you got to do so that you can make your money, if you're too proud, go turn your truck in. Go work for Swift. Go turn your truck in. It's that simple. You know, they got that saying, one bad apple spoils a bunch. I got a prime example for that with this company. I tell you guys all the time, Super Eagle is a sales company. It's a truck sales company. So I'll put it to you like this. If you go to Freightliner and you buy a base truck and you have a medical condition and you need a CPAP machine, whose responsibility is it to make sure that you have what you need for your CPAP machine? It's yours, right? That's just common sense. Or you buy a higher model Freightliner that comes with the 1800 watt inverter and the plugs all over the place so that you can plug in your CPAP machine, right? But if you get a base model, you got to make sure you got an inverter or you got a generator or you got a whatever so that you can power your CPAP machine, right? Well, there's a guy that came here to get a truck, had a CPAP machine, and these trucks are all base model trucks. He didn't want to supply what he needed for his CPAP machine, so he got a lawyer and he sued the company. Lawyer found a loophole. Yeah, you guys are a trucking company. You guys are a sales company, rather. But being a sales company, you are also all inclusive with everything, which therefore makes you a trucking company, which therefore makes you responsible. And they won. Made all kinds of money. The result? Somebody comes here with a CPAP machine. I don't care if you got a perfect record with 100 years experience, the answer is no. I tried to fight for this one guy that came to the company. He had a backup battery for a CPAP machine. He had the inverter for his truck for a CPAP machine. He was even willing to sign a waiver to say, I will not hold the company responsible for anything that has to do with the CPAP machine. Answer was no. I had everybody I knew in there trying to fight to get him in there. Answer was no. No discussion. No. Well, because of that one bad apple, If you got a CPAP machine, it's not going to happen. Well, all you guys that are not willing to do what it takes to break down a load to realize if you got a good load or not, you're bad apples. You're bad apples. All you guys that are making your videos and I've been driving here, all month, all year, and I ain't making no money, you're a bad apple. You're a bad apple. And for all y'all bad apples, get out. Get out. What's the benefit of staying here? You already said you can't make no money. You already said the company is screwing you. You already said that you're a victim. Get out. Go work for Swift. Get out. Because for those of us that are willing to be responsible, for those of us that are willing to do what we have to do, for those of us that are breaking down the loads and are able to make the money, now we got to figure out how to get more money when it was already hard to get the money because they knew that you guys would do it for less. Get out. When I see people, like I said, I ain't making no money. How you doing? I'm doing good. Why don't you park your truck? We'll take 5 minutes, sit down, look at what you're doing, see what you... Oh, man, I ain't got time for all that. Then go turn your truck in. Why stay here if you're telling me you can't make no money? Get out. And there's nothing wrong with getting out. I've talked to guys. I know a guy that was here and he was having a hard time. He felt like this wasn't for him. He went to work for a company. He got a nice truck now. He making 65 cents on a mile. He's happy. We talk all the time still. He's happy. Get out. The trucking industry is about to change. It's about to change a lot. I already told you guys they're trying to make room for the autonomous truck. That's why they're doing that to everybody's CDL and blah, 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 blah. With these fuel prices, they're about to put a lot of companies out of business. Unless you're a fighter and you're determined, they're about to put a lot of companies out of business. Why? Because the companies are barely making above board with the fuel prices with the way they are, with the way they were. But the way they are now, they negative. They negative. I used to have guys in my comment section, oh, and I'm working for this company and I'm making so much per mile, and I'm doing $100,000 a year and I got all the headaches that you got and blah, 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 blah. What are you making now? Because for these companies to make it, they got to get their brokers to pay more. And their brokers ain't going to pay more, not on every load. Which means now they got less loads per week. Less loads per week means less income, less take-in, less gross. That means some of y'all trucks that are on the road are about to be parked. Sitting in a lot. Our driver is our most important commodity. It's either that or you start driving less per mile. And once you agree to lower pay, trying to get higher pay, trying to get back to where you were, which means a lot of you about to be out of work. Less drivers on the road, more room for the autonomous truck. That's the way that works. That simple. That simple. So if you are not willing to do what it takes to make sure that you got a good load, to make sure that you got a good paying load, if you one of them guys that's sitting there and I can't make no money, the company is screwing me over, it's a scam, blah, 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 blah. You can make all the videos you want. I don't care. We got 1,000 of them on the internet as it is. Another 1,000 ain't gonna hurt nobody. Make your video, be your victim, you ain't make no money, blah, 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 blah. Go ahead. But get out. Get out. Go work somewhere else. Allow those of us who are able to work with the scamming company, who can make money with the scamming company, make our money. Because right now what's going on is we got to get more money to cover these fuel hikes. And it's almost impossible to get more money while you doing it for less. For money that just don't make sense. I'm fighting with my dispatcher and my dispatch manager every day trying to get more money. And they're like, well, John, the market, the brokers ain't paying and blah, 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 blah. I can't pay my bills what the broker won't pay. Doesn't work that way. I can't go to T-Mobile and be like, sorry, I ain't got my phone bill this month, but the reason why is because the broker won't pay. T-Mobile gonna turn my shit off. It don't work that way. I recently did a run to Idaho. Supposed to be a 3-day run, $5,000. Company gets 25%. That leaves me $3,750. Supposed to be 3 fills, $1,500. 3,750 minus 1,500 leaves me 22,200 something for a 3-day run. I'm over $500 a day. That's a good run. However, fuel went up to $800 for a 3/4 tank. So now I'm at $2,400. I ain't making the same amount of money anymore. And then to make matters worse, Eddie was closed for a couple days. When it opened up, nothing under 50,000 pounds. All kinds of weather issues, blah, blah, blah. It took me a week to run a 3-day run. All I had was that one run. When I got my statement, I was negative. I sent my statement to my dispatcher and to the dispatch manager. This is why we need more money. With what is making right now, the broker won't pay doesn't work. The broker won't pay doesn't work. You got to find a way to make them pay. Now, why should the broker pay $3 a mile when you got some idiot that's out there willing to run the same run for $1 a mile? 2,000 miles, $2,000. Oh, at $2,000, at $2,000, hell yeah, I take that shit. Your fuel is $2,400, idiot. So you already negative before the company gets their cut. So just get out. Save yourself the headache of going week after week and not making no money. Save yourself the headache of being scammed by the company. Save yourself the headache of making a video I can't make no money. Because you guys, I'm going to be honest with you. There was a company I used to work for. And I've talked to some guys who work here who used to work for that same company. That company was a scam. That company 100% was a scam. You're supposed to be making cents on a mile. They trying to pay you by the hour, minimum wage. They don't pay layover pay. They don't pay detention pay. When your truck is in the shop for a week, they don't even want to cover that. That company was a scam. And what did I do? I went to go work somewhere else. I turned my key in. I went to go work somewhere else. I didn't make a video. Oh, this company's a scam. One, why? If I can't make no money here, if I can't make it work here, I go somewhere else. Period. Two, you look stupid. You look downright, outright stupid. When I see these videos, oh, I've been here 3 months and I ain't made no money. And I'm like, yo, stupid ass sat here for 3 months intentionally just so you could be broke and make a video. How much sense does that make? So while you were here for the 3 months that you were here until you finally decided to leave because you couldn't make no money, you did 3 months worth of work, 3 months worth of loads, 3 months at jobs that should not have been even assigned for less than what it should have been. You were the problem. You were the very problem that you were complaining about. You couldn't make no money because you were taking loads for too low of a price. And you're complaining because you can't make no money because you took loads at too low of a price. And now you got brokers out there that thinking you still on the road and you willing to take that load at $1 a mile, while somebody else is trying to get $3 a mile, and they're like, nah, where that idiot at? Yeah, I know that idiot around here somewhere. He gonna take it for $1 a mile. You were the problem. You're the problem that you're complaining about. That's like somebody going and jumping in the water and complaining because they're wet. It was your stupidity to jump in the water in the first place. And that's what I think every time I see one of those videos. And the only people you guys are catering to are the ones who are just as stupid as you. How do I know? You make your video, I was here for 3 months, I couldn't make no money, and there's some idiot in the comments, yeah, I know, I was there for like 2 months. I was there for 5 months, I didn't make no money either, company is scam. So you catering to the same stupid people that did the same stupid thing that you did, showing how stupid you are. Meanwhile, people like me who are watching these videos are sitting there looking at it, and you're the reason why I can't get a good rate. There are 2 ways to book jobs at this company. The first one is pre-book. We got contracts. We got contracts with Walmart. We got contracts with Amazon. We got contracts with a lot of the big distributors. Amazon calls us. We got 1,000 loads that are coming out of California next week that are going across the country. Okay, so we got a team that deals with them to set prices for the pre-book loads. Our team says, okay, well, that's 2,000 miles going here. We need $5,000. They're like, nah, fuck that, because y'all got motherfuckers that drive 2,000 miles for $2,000. Let's get real. By the time they finally agree on a rate, it's too low. And at that time, Amazon's not pressed because they do it a week before the load even has to be picked up. So Amazon has a week to say, okay, well, if they don't want to do it for a good rate, then we'll go to this other stupid company and see what they're going to do. Okay, we're going to pull this job from you and we're going to give it over here because they're stupid enough to do it for $1 amount. So just to guarantee that we got loads on the board, they got to book the load for a lower rate. Because you guys are too stupid to break down the load and realize there's no money in the load. The other way to book a load is what my dispatcher does. Load's got to be picked up Friday by 1 o'clock. It's Friday. Shit, we ain't got nobody to get the load yet. We got to get somebody on here quick. So my dispatcher hits him up and says, okay, well, I got a guy that can do it. He can guarantee the load. But he's going to do it for $8,000. What? $8,000? No. We normally pay $3,000, $3,500. Oh, he ain't going to do it for $3,000, $3,500. You can forget that. I can maybe get him and take it for $6,000. Maybe. $6,000? You still... The car payment. I got to pay the wife's car. Come on. Work with me. I tell you what. I'll pay $5,000. You'll pay $5,000? I'll pay $5,000. All right, John, I got a load. It's 2,000 miles for $5,000. You want it? At $500 for a 3/4 tank? Yeah, I'll take it. At $800 for a 3/4 tank? No. But John, the broker won't pay more. I don't give a fuck. No. Because I drive that run, I ain't making no money. Next thing you know, the load is gone because some idiot took it for $3,000. So if one bad apple could spoil a bunch for everybody else trying to come here because of a health condition, imagine what 1,000 bad apples can do when it comes to the rates. And now we got to try to get more money because of the fuel hikes. So do you a favor and do everybody else a favor. Just get out. You could be here 2 days and make a video. I don't care, but get out. This ain't for you. This ain't for you. You guys get out, brokers start calling, ain't nobody taking the loads because they paying too low. They have no choice but to raise the rates. He got to go home and tell his wife, look, I can't afford the Mercedes this month. How you like the Camry? But at least we don't have to go to our places where we got to pay bills and say, well, the brokers won't pay. Not everybody's meant to be a boss. Not everybody's meant to be a leader. Not everybody's meant to run their own situation. The reason why they have leaders and followers, the reason why they have sheep herders and sheep, the reason why not everybody's meant to be in front. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There are a lot of people who have good careers, live good lives, and they were never a boss of anything. In fact, when I was raised, you keep your head down, you do your job, you stay out of trouble. But I learned something in my years of working, which is what encouraged me to become an owner. This isn't my only business. I got another business too. I have a lot of failed businesses. I ain't gonna lie. I tried. I had a carpet cleaning business that went under, and I had all my excuses for why that went under, but the bottom line was it was my fault. I had a burrito business that went under. I had a mechanic shop that was good for like 2 years and it went under. Right now I got a limo business, it's doing great. I've even got to the point where I'm driving name brand people. And I got my trucking business. A lot of people ask me, with your limo business, why the hell is you getting the trucking? Why? COVID taught me a lesson. COVID taught me a lesson. Even though as a driver we were still considered essential, so we could still work, we didn't have to close our doors. Everything we took people to was closed. No weddings, no concerts, very little air travel, no parties. All the things that we booked, it was banned during COVID. For a limo company, you know how many vehicles move? None. So when COVID was finally over, technically it's not, because they still come up with every year, oh, we got a new COVID scare, let's see if you're going to fall for it again. But yet they're not closing doors. I said I need to start a business that's COVID proof. So if they try this stuff again, I can still make my money. And the only thing that was making money that was COVID proof, heart surgeon, brain surgeon, shit like that. And yeah, no, I ain't doing that. Or be a truck driver. Here I am. No matter what goes on, people still need to eat. No matter what goes on, people are still spending money for things they need. No matter what goes on, a truck still got to roll. And my goal is to eventually start my own fleet of trucks. And then I can sit back and retire and work from my laptop, run both businesses. So that's why I got into trucking. And one thing I know, because I've been through the failed businesses, is how to make a business work. One reason why I'm doing these videos is so I can help y'all run y'all business, so y'all can make your business work. But yet you still got people out there that don't want to be responsible, that don't want to do what they got to do to make their business work. And they're making it hard for those who do want to do it. And right now with these fuel rates, damn near impossible for those who want to do it. So do yourself a favor, do me a favor, do all them people out there that are out there trying to make a living, do a favor, do them a favor, and just get out. Just get out. If you here and you can't figure out how to make no money, this ain't for you. Get out. If you've got the resources, you got me, you got my videos, you'd be surprised how many people call me and they say, I've been watching your videos and your videos make sense. I did lease purchase before, it didn't work. I'm watching your videos, I see why it doesn't work. And they make sense. I'm watching your video. I watched your video. I was thinking about going there and I was watching your video and I'm watching everything that's involved, and you're right. It's not for everybody. I realize that that's not for me. But at least your videos, they seem like they're, straightforward, they're straight up, and I can see why they got all these negative videos. And you're right, it's not for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Trucking might not be your talent. Your talent might be a chef. Instead of coming here, you might decide to go to culinary school, and next thing you know, you're on one of these competitions to see who's the best chef. Everything is not for everybody. Everything is not for everybody. To run a business, one, you got to be able to sit down and do all the details. You got to be able to sit down and do all the details. There's one detail I'm terrible at, and I know I'm terrible at it, and I admit it to everybody, and that's the paperwork. I pay people for that shit. Taxes and all that, dude. I know how to get out there, and I know how to make $1 million. You want me to sit down and put it on paper and file the tax? No. I'll have everybody in our IRS coming after me. But I know it. I know where my weaknesses are. I'm one of those guys where you sit there and you say, I got 1,000 pounds of fertilizer that's got to be loaded up and moved tomorrow. All right, I'll make it happen. But then you sit down and, okay, well, now you got to do the paperwork and buy the pound. And oh, shit, you done fucked up. I'm done. Okay, what if I get somebody else to do the paperwork and do the... Okay, cool. Then I'll make it happen. I know where my weaknesses are. I also know when it comes to doing the job, I got a drive that doesn't quit. I do not accept failure as an option. A lot of people say that. There's like people that say, oh, I'm your ride or die. Fast and Furious started that shit. I'm your ride or die. I'm your ride or die. Well, I need help. I gotta move tomorrow because, oh wait, you know what? Yeah, wait, you're my ride or die. Yeah, but you gotta understand, if I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. If I say I'll get it there, I get it there. If I say the job will be done, the job will be done. I don't believe in excuses. I don't believe in excuses. A lot of people do. A lot of people want to have control, but don't know what it is to be in charge. And then they come to companies like this, and they can't make no money. If you can't make no money, this ain't for you. Don't sit there and make a video and brag. That's what Lizzie doing. Lizzie bragging. It looks stupid. I was out there and I was there for X amount of months and I couldn't even pay my bills. I couldn't even eat. I couldn't make no money. Why would you sit there and tell the world you failed? Why would you sit there and brag about failure? Now, if you want to make a video and say, you know, yeah, I was there and I didn't do well, and the reason why I didn't do well was because I didn't do this and I didn't do that, or I didn't realize this, I didn't realize that. That's educational. That's informative. There's a purpose. But to get there and say, I was there for 6 months and I ain't make no money, is a scam. It took you 6 months to figure out you couldn't make no money? You stupid. Because to me, I would sit there and say, well, if you knew you wasn't making no money, why'd you stay? If you knew you wasn't making no money, you didn't know after the first couple weeks? It actually took you 6 months to realize you couldn't make no money? You're stupid. So just get out. Get out. And once you get out and people like you get out, then when the brokers call and they say, well, y'all ain't got no money, nobody else that's going to do this for $1 a mile, so I guess I got to pay you $3 a mile. That's how that works. And then the people who have figured it out and want to make money and know how to make money can now move forward and make money. Now, I know I'm making all kinds of phone calls and all kinds of emails. You got to understand, you got to understand, you got to understand. No, I don't got to understand shit. If you can contact me to say I got to understand, and you could have contacted me to ask me for help. Had you contacted me and asked me for help, you would have known whether or not you could do what needs to be done to make money or not. And if you make the decision to do what you got to do to make money, then you're no longer making a video talking about it's a scam. See how that works? It's that simple. Or you can talk to me and I can say, okay, well, this is what you're doing wrong, this is what you're doing wrong, this is what you got to do, blah, 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 blah. Let's move forward. And you're like, oh, well, damn. I didn't know I had to do all that. You know what? Nah, I think I'm going to go back to work for company. Okay, cool. Good luck to you. And there are guys that are working for company that are doing great. There are guys who have left here that are working for company and are doing great. There are guys that left here and work for company ain't doing great as well. And that company's a scam too. Go figure. But yeah, fuel prices right now. I was just in California, over $1,000 to fill 3/4 tank. $1,000 for fuel. That's ridiculous. That's insane. That's insane. $1,000 for fuel. And the brokers don't want to pay the rates that they were paying when it was less. And now we got to try to get them to pay more. And now you running for $1 a mile. Just get out. Get out. Stop being a bad apple. Just get out. It's not for you. Get out. For you guys that are watching my videos and y'all are thinking about coming here, I go through every detail of what needs to happen with this company. I go through every detail of what you got to do to make money. If you sit there and you think about, oh, well, you know, I can do that. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to fight for that. Cool. If you watch the videos and you're like, oh man, this guy full of shit, he ain't got to do it. No, don't come here. Don't come here. If you're trying to run a business, you also got to be willing to make sacrifices. You got to be willing to make sacrifices. One of the things people talk about when they want to come here is, I want to be able to go home. I don't want to be 3, 4, 5, 6 months on the road. Okay. It's your business. You can go home when you want to go home. But you also got to drive. So if you ain't willing, you can't do both. You can't do both. Like I was talking to a guy, I said, okay, so, you know, you live in Kentucky, your load goes through Kentucky, you want to go home, technically you could do the run in 3 days. They got it booked for 4 days, so you could do a day at home and still make your load on time. Oh, you want to do a 34 reset at home. Well, now you're going to be late. So you either got to accept the fact that you're going to be late and get another appointment, which means you'll probably be sitting for a day or two, or you got to do what you got to do to get the load there on time. Oh, I don't want to drive no extra hours. You got to take a hit somewhere. I've had people comment to me, well, it seems like you go home a lot. I do. When it makes sense, I go home. If I got stuff that's going on that I got to be home for, I go home. But coming out of there, if I got a load that's got to be there in 3 days, 4 days, and I only got 2 days to do it, guess what? I got to take the hit. But I get the load there on time. If I'm late, it's either a truck breakdown or it's a weather condition that didn't allow me to drive. Like, I have no choice but to go down to 80. I recently had a run where I was going to Eugene, Oregon. And I only had 5,000 pounds, 4,800 pounds in the back of my trailer. Going down to 80, you couldn't be under 45,000 pounds. Going down to 90, you couldn't be under 50,000 pounds. I could turn around and go down to 40 and run to 5 all the way up. But I just added 2-3 days of my trip. I've also added about I added over $1,500 in fuel to my trip. That's not an option. And I'm still going to be 2-3 days late. So I might as well sit there and wait till the freeway opens up so I can get down there. I got to take the hit somewhere. But that's what is part of being an owner. Sacrifices. You got to take hits. But it's not all hits. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're still making money. If you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, then you're not. And if you're not going to do what you're supposed to do, then get out. You in the way. You a bad apple that's messing it up for every other apple here. You in the way. Get out. I personally have talked to the company many times. Why are you bringing these people on? Well, you don't know, just because of this or just because of that, they might end up being good. What's the likelihood of that? It could happen. You never know. So they're willing to give an opportunity to anybody, as long as you ain't got a CPAP machine. They're willing to give an opportunity to anybody. Even when they're already looking at you and saying, well, and I done seen some, I don't even want to get into all the stuff that I've seen in the terminal. I done seen people, you just took a drug test and now you're going to sit at the picnic tables in front of the terminal and blaze up. Really? You're going to be in the terminal pulling out your bottle. I can't wait till I get to the hotel because I'm going to get my drink on. Really? Are you really that stupid? And I ain't there every day. But in the few times I've been in a terminal, if I've seen that, I can only imagine what they see every day. There's a lot of people that work at this company that I wouldn't give an opportunity to. If you that stupid, if your mind tells you the smartest thing that you can do after taking a drug test is to blaze up right in front of the building that you're trying to get an opportunity, if you that stupid, Why would I give you a truck? I already know you're going to be a problem. But this scam of a company still gives them an opportunity. If I was running things, this would be a lot different. This would be a lot different. I promise you. But anyway, I didn't mean to get into all that. My main thing is, fuel prices are up. The trucking industry is about to change. And if you haven't figured it out by now, you're not going to figure it out. Get out the way so other people can have an opportunity. Other people can make money. Just get out the way. Find your niche. Find your purpose. Find whatever it is going to make you happy. Find what it's going to take for you to make money. And go do that. And just get out the way. Anyway, that's it for that. I got to do my exercises and stuff and get on the road. I'll talk to y'all later. Be safe out there.